Hey everybody, Sean from Movie Assault here, and happy Halloween. It is Halloween. It is Saturday, October 31st, 2020, and this is the final episode of the Halloween 15 for 2020. The film I'll be reviewing today is Overlord from 2018, and this is an interesting film. I bought this film on 4K Blu-ray, and unfortunately I forgot to pull it out of my collection to show you, so I apologize for that. But this is a film that, if you weren't paying attention or you had no idea what you were sitting down to watch, you would think for the first 45 minutes or so that it is a war movie. It doesn't really become a horror movie until about the halfway point. I mean, there are little hints here and there, but overall, it's a pretty effective war film until about the halfway point. The plot centers around a group of paratroopers from the U.S. Army who have dropped behind enemy lines on the eve of D-Day, the invasion of Normandy, France. And of course, if you know your history, this is where the Allied forces basically overtook and broke the back of the German forces and ended up winning World War II. Had this not gone successfully, the war, who knows, may still be raging today. I have no idea. But the goal of this particular paratroopers, their mission is to take down a radio tower that is mounted on top of a church in behind enemy lines. So that's their mission. And unfortunately, their plane is hit by flak before they are able to get out of the plane. So a lot of them are either killed on the plane or as they're jumping out of the plane or falling out of the plane, as it were. But a small group, 5 soldiers, get together, including Boyce, Ford, Dawson, Chase, and Tibbet. And they end up meeting up with a French girl named Chloe, who leads them to their village, to her village rather, and her village is where the church, where the radio tower is located. Unfortunately, the church is surrounded by this huge compound, and it turns out that the Nazis are doing something rather sinister inside that compound in an underground laboratory. I won't say too much more than that, but I will say that it sort of devolves into almost like you're playing an episode or an installment of the Wolfenstein game series, the video game series. It's very reminiscent of that. There's, of course, Nazi experiments and things go awry. We've seen this theme in countless movies, video games. Nazi zombies are practically a genre unto themselves. There's, shock waves and Dead Snow, and I'm trying to think of another one, Zombie Lake. Just all sorts of Nazi zombie movies. So it's not really treading on any original ground here. But I will say that even though it is not original and the German characterizations are pretty stereotypical, as are the American soldier representations, they're pretty stereotypical too. The movie looks great. I have to give a tip of the hat to the director, and his name is Julius Avery. He does a great job with the action scenes. The special effects are really good. They're a nice blend of CGI and practical effects. Everything is done really well. I apologize for my dog whining. Everything looks great. It's just unfortunate that the film itself is not anything that you haven't seen before. It looks great. The props are fairly realistic. There's a lot of, things that aren't period correct, but overall the movie looks really good. There aren't very many scares. I wouldn't say this is a very scary film. It's much more effective as an action film, but it is a nice and interesting diversion if you're looking for something different, a combination war horror movie. If anything, this is a film. My dad passed away about 4 years ago, but if there is a horror film that would intrigue my dad, it would be this one, because it reminded me of all the war movies that we used to watch together during the afternoon movie when I was a kid, or on Saturday nights or something like that. So it's got an old school feel about it, at least towards the war movie part of it. It's definitely a hard R in terms of rating, so it's not something that would be suitable to watch on TV in the 1970s, but it's definitely a film that was very reminiscent of those old war films. at least at the beginning part. Then it sort of degenerates into this pretty standard formulaic horror film. But it's interesting. It's not terrible. It's worth watching. But it's definitely got more in the looks department than the plot department. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. And that is my review of Overlord for the Halloween 15. And had a lot of fun this year. Got to see a lot of movies that I hadn't seen before. Really enjoyed Candyman. Really enjoyed I Walked with a Zombie, Phantom of the Paradise. So if you haven't watched the previous installments, definitely check them out. Crawl was really good. A lot of good stuff this year, so I look forward to doing this next year. It'll be the 4th year that I've done it. As always, you can get the complete reviews for any of these films at movieassault.com. The link is in the description. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Take it easy, and as always, if you haven't done so already, please rate this video by clicking the thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Take it easy. Bye.